G'day guys and welcome to another video. Today we're going to look at basic arithmetic. How can we add, subtract, multiply and divide using complex numbers? As a reminder, if I have a complex number z equals x plus iy, x is the real part, y is the imaginary part. I need to recall that because when I go through addition and subtraction in a moment, we're going to have to collect the like terms like algebra, the real parts together and the imaginary parts together. And that's all that we're going to need to know how to do for addition and subtraction. So here we go. If I have a complex number z equals x plus iy and w equals c plus id, then all I need to do is collect the real parts together, collect the imaginary parts together because they're the like terms, and then pull out that common factor of I from the imaginary part. That's it. Subtraction's the same thing, it's just I'm going to replace the plus sign with the negative sign. For multiplication, I'm just going to expand brackets out, just like in normal algebra. So you can see that happening in front of your eyes right here. The only complicating factor will be, for the final term, I'm going to get an I squared there, and I need to remember my definition, I squared is actually -1, and that's where the negative term comes from. Before we get into division, we need to understand something called a complex conjugate, and it's just like a conjugate surd. The idea being here, I've got the complex number z equals x plus iy. That positive just turns to a negative, and that's what I call my conjugate. And that z should actually have a line above it, which we call bar. So I would say for z equals x plus iy, its conjugate is z bar equals x minus iy. So now we can go through division. Again, I've got the same two complex numbers. I'm going to write them as a fraction for division. All I need to do is multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. So instead of c plus id, it's c minus id, and then I'm just going to multiply, expand brackets, I guess is the idea, top and bottom. And the nice thing about multiplying by a conjugate is it turns it into a real number. So that's c plus id times c minus id becomes a c squared plus d squared, which is a real number. So it's a nice little fraction. And that's it for working with the basic operations.